Hello, everybody, and welcome to an all-new episode of The Cosmic Force, episode 13. My name is Tyler Riganti, and tonight is a very special episode. We have something a little different planned tonight. We're going to talk Star Wars. We're just not going to talk as much comics. We're going to take a little bit of a breath, just kind of hang out together tonight, and really get to know each other a little bit more. We'll talk about how this thing came together and what all we're going to talk about in a moment. But first, let's go ahead and introduce everybody else that will be joining me tonight. And we start where we always do with Emma. Emma, how's it going tonight?
Hello, everyone. I am well. Happy High Republic week. What a week. I mean, it's honestly felt kind of like a new film release with all the excitement in Discord and on Twitter and all of that. It's been really exciting. So hope everybody's been enjoying the 2 new books. I know I have been. And yeah, new Star Wars. Always good.
Yes, it's been a very, very fun week. Caleb, how's it going with you this week?
Doing real well. I had a kind of a weird head cold last week, so I wasn't talking too much the other week, but now I'm feeling better. I'm all ready. My mind is clear, so we're going to have a great episode.
We are going to have a great episode, and that is because we have Jacob as our amazing producer, making sure all the photos that we gave him. We have a lot of photos tonight. All the photos that we gave him are going to be up and beautiful, and it's all going to be set up amazing. So, Jacob, first off, thank you up front for all the mess that we're going to get into tonight.
Dude, you don't actually want to get me started on this because, believe it or not, your photos were the worst by far. Not in their not in their content. But so you sent me the pictures and I got them and they're like, hey, half of them are in HEIC format, which my computer doesn't like. So I had to convert them. And then I got them back. I saw that. And then the orientation was wrong. So then I had to like re-export them all so they were spun the right way. And then I found out that for some reason OBS doesn't, because I put them in the image slideshow, OBS really didn't like how many pictures you had. So I had to make 3 different slideshows for you. But no, it's been fun.
This is not the time for you to be telling me this. You should have told me this earlier, and I would have done half that work. But that is why you get paid the big bucks as the producer.
Hey, we talked about this pre-show. You legally cannot pay me starting in like a month, so please don't.
All right. Well, if you are joining us for the first time, welcome. We are a Star Wars comics podcast that broadcasts live right here on youtube.com/Utini every Wednesday night at 8 o'clock. If you can't join us live, that is perfectly fine. Our videos are here for you to watch whenever you are available. So please go ahead and subscribe to this channel and even turn on the little alarm so that you can get notifications when new videos are up. Also, if you don't want to watch the video and you want to catch us on the go, we are available on all of your favorite podcast platforms as well. So make sure you can check us out over there. If we are also part of the Utini podcast network it says in my show notes, nearly a dozen shows. I feel like we're over a dozen shows now. Either way, it's a lot. And we also have a Discord channel at utini.com/Discord with more than 1,000 members. That was really, really active this week, like Emma was saying at the top of the show, because of course it's New Republic week, it's Rising Storm, it's all
Race to Crashpoint Tower,
Republic
issue 6,
number 6.
So get there. It has been a very active week in the Discord, and of course, if you, last but not least, if you like what you see and you want to say thanks, head over to patreon.com/Utini, where for as little as $5 a month, you can gain exclusive access to the entire Utini podcast network of shows, as well as exclusive merch and community activities. So we like I said, we have a really fun show tonight. It's going to be much more laid back. You're going to kind of get to know a little bit about us. But before we get into that, Jacob, what do we have on the weekly pull list this week?
Yeah, so we have 3 comic books coming out this week. First, of course, like I mentioned, is High Republic issue number 6. This is the start of a new arc, so a great place to jump in. It's Heart of the Drengir, Chapter 1, The Galaxy Unites, written by Kevin Scott, with pencils by a new artist, Georges Gianti, covered by Phil Noto, and inker Carl Story, colorist Annalisa Leone, and letterer Joe Caramanga. And the pride cover for this is a great cover of Sarah and Tarot by Javier Garron and Marte Gracia. And there were some questions on this, both in Discord and on Twitter. It takes place before the Rising Storm, so if you have not had a chance to finish that, like me, you go ahead and read this. And Kevin said it might even be helpful. It gives a little, like the title says, it gives a little bit more information on the Drengir. before the Rising Storm, so a good time to read that. But yeah, I love this Pride cover, probably my favorite out of the bunch.
Yeah, I like the purple. It looks really
Yeah.
nice.
Purple's great. Sarah Tarrant looking good. The vectors looking great as always.
But to say, anytime we see a vector, it's always a good time.
And these are the last week. These are the last Pride covers, correct?
Yes. Yeah, I mean, it's the last month of Pride Month of June.
Yes.
So
the last month of Pride Month.
Or last week of Pride. You know what I meant. All right, the next is Dr. Aphra number 11, War of the Bounty Hunters, The Wreckage, written by Alyssa Wong, pencils by Minkyu Jung, cover by Sarah Pacelli and Nolan Woodard. The inker is Victor Olazaba, and the colorist is Rochelle Rosenberg, with letters from Joe Caramanga. So, our Legends fans, this is the long-awaited return of Dirge into canon. So definitely pick that up if you haven't. If you want to see,
what did Charles call him? Like Bubblegum Man or something?
Something like that. I mean, it's accurate.
Oh yes.
We were talking about. But yeah, we were talking a little bit about Dirge in Discord, actually, like half an hour ago, probably at this point. But yeah.
Yes. And that's of course in reference to the Gendy.
The Tartakovsky. Yeah, having only seen the Tartakovsky Clone Wars, this is not what I expected Dirge to be like. I got to say that.
Same, yeah.
But yeah, then so our Pride cover is another one of my favorites of the bunch is Sana Staros by Jan Bazdula and Rochelle Rosenberg. So another great one. Yeah, I see Mike in chat. He got the whole set.
Be Nasty saying that this Ray Sloan one is his favorite of the bunch.
Yeah, well, this is not Ray Sloan, but
sorry, that's right, that's Sana.
Sana Stars, but yeah, good set all together. And then our last is Weapon of the Jedi Part 2. This is Part 2 of 2. It's a IDW adaptation of the junior novel Weapon of Jedi by Jason Fry, and this adaptation was written by Alec Worley and art from Ruari Coleman. So if you want to pick up any of those, you can find the Comixology links down in the YouTube description, as always. So,
it's the first week we've ever had 3 like single issues come out. Yeah,
it's the I mean, well,
it's been a
while. Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's almost like there's enough content to make a whole show about.
Almost.
I know.
But yeah, we'll head on over to what we're loving, and we're gonna start with Tyler's art.
Yes, so I was able to finally get around to reading some comics this week, and we'll get to that in a minute. But this is my art of the week. This is from Darth Vader 2020, number 13. I know it's new, but there's not really much to spoil here. It's just Vader being awesome. The pencils are from Raphael Yanko, and the colors are from Jason Keith. It's just another great example of the art from the most recent Darth Vader run. And I think I speak for everybody here. If you haven't picked up this run, we highly encourage it. It's been a really, really fun arc, especially the second arc. So that is from issue number 13. Emma, I'll turn it over to you. What is you got a little bit of a different selection this week?
I do. I think at this point I can say that I'm known for my canon selections. So this might be a little bit of a change up here. This is from Star Wars 1977, number 29, called Dark Encounter. And we talked about this as well as a few others on Legends Look Back. I'm filling in as producer for the month of July. So we were talking about all about Valence, and this issue has to do with Valence fighting Vader. And I picked this solely because on the bottom left panel there, you can see Vader chopped off Valence's metal arm, and it's still like clinging to his leg, and it's disgusting. But I should mention here, the pencils for this are by Carmine Infantino, inks by Bob Wyacek, and colors by Glynis Wine. So yeah, really awesome series here. This was part of the trade paperback Forever Crimson or Crimson Forever. I get it mixed up. But that was a really interesting read, and I highly recommend it if you're looking for some Legends to read. So that was my pick for this week. Caleb, what is your art of the week?
It's less because it's very nice, but it is a very nice piece of art. But it's more like a proof that, hey, I finally did it. I finally finished Dr. Afra 2017, 20 to 2016 run. I've done it. This is from issue 40. This is the end of that arc. And let me tell you, that was a really wild ride. That was probably some of the best like Star Wars comic arc I've seen in a long, long time. So just if you haven't done yourself that favor, read the comics of the Dr. Afra series. It from beginning to end, it's a great trip. So satisfying ending, and I can't wait to get what the 2020 run has been up to because I have not caught up there yet. Jacob, how about you?
Yeah, so I think I'm like starting a bit of a trend of doing Emma said she's a canon person mostly. I've been doing a lot of big monsters. Like I had the space slug a couple weeks ago, and now I have this giant Zilla beast in the Age of Resistance Kylo Ren one shot.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, that was just crazy stuff. Pencils by Leonard Kirk, colors by Guru EFX, and I mean again, most of mine boil down to what more can I say? It looks cool. It's
Right?
a giant Zilla beast that Kylo. They're like, Kylo, you can't kill this. He's like, watch me. And
But even your granddaddy couldn't kill
yeah, it's like,
this.
Vader can do it. It's like, well, I'm not Darth Vader. I'm cooler than Darth Vader. And yeah, he does his best. So that is my art of the week, which brings us to our community submission. So
Oh
Caleb?
yes, this one came from our very own Blind Fates. Thank you for the submission. Another one from the 77 run. Pencils by Walter Simpson, colors by Don Warfield. Yeah, it's a you have a really nice piece of art there. I can't really let me get that put back in front. Oh yes, I remember now. Is that the droid excursion C3PO being the action hero, which is something we never see, honestly. And it's refreshing when they do it and don't put up too much of an air silliness on it. It's pretty silly, but the 77 run had a lot of these great weird moments.
No.
Yeah, that's one thing.
C3PO is the action hero in the Droids cartoon. I just finished watching that last week, and man, what a ride that was. Tune into Legends Look Back tomorrow for more talk about that. But
that was
I love
recently added to Disney Plus, right?
It's like
it
a week
it
or two
was,
ago?
yeah, like
yeah.
a couple weeks ago or so. And man, some vintage C3PO, like he really gets into the action there. And honestly, it's kind of fun to see.
Yeah, it's always fun to. I that's one thing that I need to get around to doing is really catching up on that classic 70s run, because there was somebody just in the Discord today that was talking about that, and that's really a blind spot for me. So that's something. Now that I'm starting to read up on things again, I'm gonna go.
Where else are you going to get your Jackson on?
Right, absolutely. And
literally
no,
anything
that's
Kevin Scott writes.
There are literally dozens of Jackson fans, dozens
of them. Joxy is actually the leader of that unofficial fan club. So shout out to Joxy and for his love of Jackson. So let's go ahead and switch over to what we have been reading. And like I said, I finally, for about the first time in 2 weeks or so, I really doing a little bit of a burnout, a little bit of just not having much time. I finally got back into some reading. So I've caught up on the High Republic adventures. I've caught up on the High Republic outside of issue 6, which is on my desk right now. I've caught up on Star Wars Mainline. I've caught up on Vader. I actually just finished earlier today the Dr. Afra novelization of the audio drama. That was good. So I'm finally getting around to doing that. And then of course the Rising Storm is something that is on my read list right now, as well as getting caught up on Afra. And my Vader Down book is still over there since you guys convinced me to pick it up like 3 weeks ago, and I just haven't gotten around to doing it. But I now have that I have book 3, Vader Down, and book 4. So that's next on my list of things to read. Hopefully I will have all that finished before we meet again next week. So Emma, what about you? What are you reading this week?
Yeah, so I've read both new issues of the Marvel series that came out today, Dr. Afra 11 and the High Republic number 6, both of which I really enjoyed. I've been watching a lot of the vintage stuff on Disney Plus. They call it the Vintage Collection. So Droids cartoon, the Ewoks cartoon. Super interesting for me to sort of watch those things. When it's, I've never really seen them before, not from my era. So kind of interesting for me to look from the outside in. And oh yeah, there's some new High Republic books this week. I was actually one of the lucky ones. to get my copy of The Rising Storm early. I got it from, I'd ordered it from Books A Million, and it came on Saturday. So I felt really excited and also really fortunate because I got a little jump on it. So yeah, just so much good stuff to read. It's hard to pick, but it's a good problem to have, I suppose. Caleb, what are you reading this week?
As I said, I finally caught up with Dr. Afra, the run there. So I've kind of I finally put the nail in that coffin, took a little step back. I finished off Last Shot by Daniel Jose Older, the
nice.
novel last week, and that was really good. I really enjoyed that a lot. And I'm going through, was it Thrawn Ascendancy, the first one of that new trilogy there?
Oh yeah, Chaos Rising.
That's really good.
Yeah.
This might be sacrilegious, but I feel like I'm reading a Star Trek novel in the Star Wars universe.
I
interesting.
can understand your perspective on that. I'll allow it.
Yeah, I like
everybody gets one, but
like,
and that's your one.
Exactly, like the kind of the corporate military hierarchy, going out and exploring new civilizations, making first contact. To kind of the politics behind that. Like it really feels like they're going to come across the Enterprise and Picard before too long. So it's been a really different ride. Like it's a different type than like Last Shot, almost like 180 degree change, but still good. Still very good if you're like Thrawn, but don't want him to be a bad guy because he hasn't done anything super villainous yet. But that's what I've been going on. Jacob, how about you?
Yeah, so a few different things. I also read High Republic number 6 this week and thought it was amazing. And a little bit of Rising Storm. I think I'm like 12 or 13 chapters in right now. Like I'm doing the audiobook and wait until my Target copy comes in tomorrow. But Caleb, not to flex on you. I mean, you said you finished the Dr. Afra run this week. I finished all of Marvel this week, so I have
Bam.
I'm done. I still have IGN or not IGN, IDW. I don't know where that came from. But yeah, here's my unread Marvel books left in canon. They're all promotional issues. So that are all excerpts of things I've already read. So yeah,
bravo.
that I'm done. I was like, so I had the problem earlier where I was reading over the weekend, like I had this goal, and Marvel Unlimited's 3-month delay, and then after that I have some other, like I have some physical issues, I have some other issues from like Comixology and stuff like that, and I was like, I knew there was a point I was gonna have to switch over from Marvel Unlimited to the other stuff, and I get to that point, and it was Dr. Afra number 10, I think, and then I look and I have no copy of Dr. Afra number 10. And it came out on Marvel Unlimited this week. I'm like, well, that's unfortunate. So it came out this morning, and then I was able to bridge the gap with everything else. So I definitely spent like like an hour this morning finishing up during work, but it's fine. So I'm done.
No one will know.
Literally no one will know, unless you watch this podcast, in which case, sorry.
Oops.
Yeah, my
well,
bad.
Congratulations to you on
you.
that. That is definitely something to be proud of. But all right, we're gonna go ahead and take a very short break to throw some merch at you guys, and then when we come back, we're gonna get a chance to learn a little bit about each of us a little bit more. So we'll be back in just a second. All right, and we're back, and like I said, we're gonna do something a little bit different this week. We were kind of talking behind the scenes a few weeks ago after the Living Forces, they had a recent episode that was kind of nicknamed the burnout episode, and kind of what to do, that it's okay to have burnout, and kind of slow down and just take a self-evaluation of where you are with this fandom. And that kind of gave us a good idea, and we thought, well, you know what, that's kind of something that we should do. We've been really pushing hard on reading all these comics and reading all these trade paperbacks and keeping up with the High Republic. So we thought we'd take a moment, take an hour this week just to kind of slow down. It just so happens that it was planned perfectly with the Rising Storm coming out and Race to Crash Point Tower. So we're giving everybody a week off. Don't have to read any comics this week. You can dive into Rising Storm, dive into Race to Crash Point Tower. Jacob, do we have those links in the video description?
I can add them.
Okay. Yeah, we'll add those links, so that way you can, if you haven't picked up already, we certainly recommend it. And just get to know, because I know that Emma is up in Maine, and she's a big Boston sports fan. I'm sorry. I know that Jacob is a big Carolina Hurricanes fan. I'm sorry. I know that Caleb likes to dress up for this show while the rest of us are wearing tees, but I don't know you guys, much more than that. So we figured we'd take some time. We all took, basically this is the first day of your first college class, and get to know everybody. So I think, Jacob, you've got a little random number generator here, because I didn't want to be the bad guy and be like, this is who's going first. So we're going to leave this up to chance, and we've all got some stuff that will help you guys get to know us a little bit more, and have some fun tonight.
All right, so here we go. Google, let's see what we got. 3.
That's me, right?
That is you. So
that is you. Yes.
Just 1 second to get this situated with your pictures.
Okay.
And we will get going. There you go.
Okay. Hey guys. In case you missed it in the very first introduction, my name is Caleb. Let's start talking about my life. Let's start with a family. That's my back there was my wife there.
I can't use arrow keys. I just realized that.
Impossible to tell, but that is the matinee. That's when we went to see at Star Wars Episode 9. So she was in my Chewbacca onesie there. I got that from a work party because I was a Star Wars guy. It really is. It fully fits me, which is weird because I'm 6'2". So it fits me like really well. In fact, her cute as a button. And then I was wearing my Jedi robe. So we actually fully dressed up for a Star Wars matinee, which is something I've been doing for a while. More on that later. We live here. We have a few pets. We have 1 dog and 1 cat. That's our dog, Mr. Darcy. He is a little Maltese, and
so cute.
He's he's old and likes to bark and is very grouchy.
I've had those sorts of dogs. I completely understand what you're talking about.
Yeah, he's cute and he's great, but boy, you see a handful sometimes. So yeah, that's kind of our little happy family there. It's hard to get a good picture of her cat because she runs around all the time. Let's hear my personal hobbies. I have a bunch. Board gaming is probably the first and foremost one behind Star Wars. Ironically, that's me playing a Star Wars board game with my buddy. That's his game. That's Star Wars Rebellion. If you've never played, it's a great time over 3.5 hours.
You got many of us jealous in the Slack when you posted that.
Oh yeah. As I said, it was like the first time I managed to play like that, like a big board game like that in a long time, since we just gotten all shot up and we're going over to his house, and it's like, well, what do you want to do? And it's like, well, it's 9 o'clock, so we should play something big. And we were there, I think it was until midnight, literally. It was great. Let's see here. Other things I enjoy is I enjoy cooking. I did not make that pizza. But I did eat it all. Like,
seriously?
Like, no, that was a great time. I watch a lot of YouTube, and about half of it is all YouTube cooking shows, all food tubers, and like I'm always getting inspiration from them. Chef John. He's like the best. Benji with Babish, he's pretty good. I'm breaking on J. Kinji Lopez Alt, the one that everyone refers to, and for good reason. Like, I love watching people cook and getting great ideas about that. That's my big stuff. What else about me? back in college slash my high school days, I will freely admit I was a bit of an anime nerd. Really badly. I've retired from that life now. So I've kind of moved on past that, which has been really nice. Nice for my time, because if you think catching up with all the Star Wars stuff is a lot of work, just imagine like nearly like every quarter 10 new shows dropping on you that you have to figure out what you want to
Like,
watch.
how many episodes of One Piece are there?
Well, it's funny you should mention that. My wife and I are actually going through the anime
no.
right now, and we're like we've been jumping around, but we've been going for like an 80 episode arc. It's One Piece is really good.
You
Like
said 80
really,
episodes
really
of
good.
an
episode arc.
Like
Arc.
it's an arc.
Oh
That-
my
Arc.
god,
Dude, that's
Arc.
4 seasons of American television. What?
Well, they're only
Wow.
20-minute episodes.
That does not help. That is
Like I'm not doing this. One Piece is good. You should read the comic though, because it's way shorter and way quicker. But for instance, I'm also going through JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 7 for the 3rd time. Great sort of thing. If you ever want to we see some wild anime action, JoJo's is where it's at. That has kind of built into the other bullet point I put in here was my model kit making. I got a few of those over quarantine, and like if you've never done anything like that, that's a lot of fun. Just making little like snipping little pieces together, snapping them together. Boy, it's so great.
those are the snap models. Those are not the glue models.
No, you don't. I'm not going to mess around with glue. That's a little bit too much. Like, and if it's hard to tell on the details, but those are fully articulated. Each joint you can move, so that's great. What else have I been doing? Dungeons and Dragons. That's a huge like build onto my board gaming thing. I play a lot of D&D. It's probably like the thing that sounds weird that I'm best at. I've been DMing like various campaigns for about 5 years straight now. So one of these days I'll be playing. I hope to like run something here for you, Teeny, but boy, I have a lot of our creative things pulling me our way. So eventually I'll be able to sit down and maybe get some people rolling dice here on
we just need
Slack.
to get you and Trev together to get do one of the West End games. Like I feel like that is half of what Star Wars Archives talks about. It's like, well, you see in this West End Games reference manual.
Legitimately, counting one shots, I've played every version of the Star Wars role-playing systems that are out there. I've played every version.
Wow.
Okay, then.
Yeah. It's like
I've played 0, so
like
that's
if you
impressive.
Same
ever-
here.
if like my most read Star Wars book is the Star Wars, like essentially the 3rd edition rule book. I got that. Well, my brother got it when we were in like middle school, and like I must have read that like 6 times cover to cover, like a big thick not it wasn't a Star Wars book, it was a rule book, but I read that like 6-7 times. Insane. What's your last little thing here was on hobbies is escape rooms. Have you guys done escape rooms yet?
I have not.
I have
All right.
not, but I want to.
They're really fun. If you ever have any fun adventure ideas of like old LucasArts point and click adventures, it's just like that. That was actually here on my honeymoon in Asheville. They had a great breakout room, and surprisingly, we managed to beat it with just the 2 of us. Now, not to put the cart before the horse here, that's what I'm wrong saying, but I've only done like 3 of these, but I have yet to fail one. So every time I go into one, I'm a little nervous, like, oh, is this the one I mess up? But if you get vaccinated, get your friends together and like it's a great like group activity. Get like 6-7 people together and get locked in a room. It's a lot of fun. Even if you don't wind up doing it, it's just a great way to have like different puzzles thrown at you and be real tactile with things.
Very
That's awesome.
nice.
I really want to try one someday. They should make a Star Wars escape room. That'd be cool.
They probably should. Like the most recent one we did was a Murder on the Orient Express one, and that was good. And
Oh.
we used the actual characters and everything from the novel, so that was a lot of fun. Now that's all like my extra sort of things. Let's talk a little bit more about Star Wars, shall we?
Sure.
Like I think probably my favorite Star Wars memory is at watching Episode 7 in theaters. Not just because of watching it, but because leading up to it. I was in my full Jedi robe and Jedi boots literally all day. I went to work in those clothes. I walked around Walmart in the local mall all day long because I was so ready for that midnight showing. Like I was like, I'm not going home. I'm just going to, kill time here and walk around. It was really, really good. I enjoyed like getting to that sort of thing and being one of the people who dressed up and having people like stop me and take photographs of me at the movie theater. That was like a weird and great feeling. And I don't know, the greatest moment is I can talk, yeah, of course I can talk about spoilers for episode 7 is when Faye and Ray and Finn are running away from Jakku and the TIE fighters are shooting over them and they blow up that ship and we pan over and we see the Millennium Falcon in front of us. Like seeing that in theaters with a crowd was like one of the greatest like energizing moments of like everyone went wild and just lost their minds.
Oh, that reminds me of my showing so much. Like everybody just goes ballistic when the Millennium Falcon shows up, and it's, oh my gosh. Like I feel like anyone that saw episode 7, like opening night or opening weekend, just has the greatest memories. It was peak Star Wars excitement, just so much fun, and man, I love it. That's such a cool story.
Yeah, like I would always, I miss seeing Star Wars in theaters. That's one thing I'll say. I don't usually miss theaters. I haven't really missed it, but watching Star Wars, that's something special.
That's different.
I'm ready for Rogue Squadron to come. Rogue One.
Not Rogue One. Rogue Squadron. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
Rogue
Squadron.
Rogue 2,
Rogue 2. So yeah, I'm excited about that. Moving on, this is my shame. My Star Wars collection. I have like only 5 sets of like Star Wars Legos in my house, and that's including my wife's sets. I'm here known for my spicy takes, so I'll say it. I don't like Funko dolls.
That's fair. I get it.
Whoa.
No, I understand.
Whoa.
I have zero interest in collecting that. So
are you okay?
Yeah, you're lucky Eric's not in the
I'll
chat
be
right
okay.
now.
I'll be okay.
I just so Lego Star Wars I'll collect and get those, but like I have maybe like 3 lightsabers and that's about it. I'm not a collector sort here. So I will get some more of these Lego helmets eventually, but that's about like when people like look at all these, like I feel like a third of everyone's Slack conversations about when Funkos are released, and every time like, oh,
it's true.
We will get you. We will.
No,
get you.
Never.
I gotta say the Bastion Lego set is pretty sweet though.
It's like really sweet. My wife got that before we even married. It like as an Easter gift. Like I was highly impressed. I was really happy. It even transforms, so you can actually turn them into this turret mode. It's a lot of fun.
That's cool.
Actually, hang on.
Oh, is it next to you?
It has a little the little birdie too.
Oh,
sweet.
So
yeah, Bastion site that was a lot of fun. Yeah, so that's my Star Wars journey. Teeny, that's the last bullet point we have here, right?
That is, yes.
Yep.
This is a little cliche to say. I do love the positivity here. Like why I love Teeny is like, as weird as it sounds, it's weird, but really refreshing to be in a space where I'm encouraged to love the things I love.
Absolutely.
Like it seems like I was talking with my brother a lot, and it seems like all the news he gets is always negative about not just like Star Wars, but like every fandom is like, have you heard about this latest crisis? Have you heard about, why people don't like the new version of this? Have you heard about why this franchise is actually dying? And it's kind of depressing sometimes to like be a fan of things and, realize that how being constantly told that it's bad or this hasn't been good or it died 10 years ago and it's just slowly bleeding out. And it's nice being in a really positive sort of thing where I get encouraged to enjoy things, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
No, I have I'll
Makes
comment about
sense.
that. Yeah, I have a comment about that too when it
absolutely
when it gets to my turn. So
the other thing is that one thing I really enjoy is like being around passionate people. We were kind of making a joking statement like early on before the show went live. It's like, like 2 out of the 4 people here put in like way more work than the others when we were trying to get the show off on board. But I like being around motivated people because that makes me want to actually start doing things. I'm a naturally lazy person. I don't like doing writing or things like that. But when I'm around people and seeing like Megs and Jareds and Jacobs doing like so much heavy lifting
And
heavy
Emma's.
work, and Emma's, absolutely. You know, I was about to say, you know, they were doing a lot of work behind the scenes. Emma's doing behind the scenes and in front of the screen work, and it's great to see that sort of thing. Be like, oh wait, I can do this. I am encouraged to be creative and passionate about things. So being around people who want to be in the system, that's always good. That's why I love being here on Utini.
All right.
That's so wonderful.
That is awesome.
I love that. I echo all of that. Yeah, it's great.
Mhm.
Yeah, you touch on a lot of things that when it gets around to my turn, I'm probably going to say a lot of similar things. So
Speaking of turns,
all right.
let's-
So actually, I'm number 1, Emma's number 2, and Jacob is number 4. So as I don't know if you were putting that up there on the actual
Yeah,
screen.
I think I like said it quickly. We're going down
Okay.
to 3. I'm becoming 3 because we don't want to roll
Okay.
Caleb again. So we're going to go ahead and hit generate. It's a 2, so that would be
It's a
Emma.
2, so that is Emma.
So give me.
Tis me. It is I, C3PO. Nope, just kidding.
Not the right
Oh
picture.
boy.
There we go. And an Emma. And here we go.
All right. So let's start out with my family. I have a twin sister, which is probably one of the coolest facts about me. We're fraternal twins. Her name is Abby. In this picture here, in the top picture, she's the one on the left. I'm the one on the right. Some people have a really hard time telling us apart, and some people can easily tell us apart. So I'll try to make it pretty clear. And then I have my mom and dad, Brian and Allison, and this is a picture of us here. We're at my university. I just made my decision to go to my university, and it was just, yeah, it was a really fun day, and I love these pictures of us. And speaking of school, I'm currently a full-time college student. I'm studying biology, and this is a picture here at my university. Not to brag or anything, but oh my gosh, I love my campus. It's so beautiful, right on the coast of Maine. This is the Saco River, and it opens right up into the ocean. Like if you pretend like you're looking out to the right, the ocean's right there. And I think it's one of the most gorgeous campuses in the world, and I feel so lucky to study there, honestly. And so I think we also have another picture from my high school graduation.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, and this is like probably my favorite picture of me and my family. That's me on the left. Obviously, my sister and I graduated at the same time because we're twins. So it's me on the left, and then my sister on the right, and my dad and my mom. So that was actually really fun because it's pretty rare for someone to graduate with their sibling and also to be able to sit next to them during their graduation ceremony. So I felt like that was just like one of the coolest things to be able to do. So yeah, that's a little bit about my family. For hobbies, I've been playing golf for I think about 6 years now, honestly. I played competitively in high school too. This picture right here, I'm holding up. I hit a hole in one, which was
Oh, I'm so jealous.
like-
Oh my god.
it was one of like the coolest moments of my life. And you know, the coolest thing about it really was that I was with my mom and my dad. I was playing with my dad. He and we play a lot. And my mom was driving me around in the cart, and I happened to hit a hole in one. And when I saw the ball go in, I threw my club up in the air, started screaming, and I guess there was like people like on the hole behind us, and they were watching, and I guess it looked like my dad was like chasing me, but he just wanted to hug me because he's like so excited. And it was fun. Like the people behind us bought us drinks and stuff, which obviously I wasn't old enough to drink
A
yet. But it was
non-alcoholic
really nice.
drink for you.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. So
that
was
Shirley
like
Temple.
the Shirley Temple. Yeah. So that was really fun. I also played competitively in high school. That's me playing for my team. Funny enough, it was a co-ed team, and I was the only girl. So it kind of taught me to be, I don't know, patient with guys, I guess.
And that's why you put up with us for 13 episodes now.
Hey, I was kind of gonna make a joke about that, but then I was like, nah, you guys are like way cooler than the people on my team.
Yeah, patient is a fabulous word to use there.
Yeah, I really hope
Yes.
at this point in my life I'm cooler than a like 17-year-old kid on the high school golf team. Not
I can
again,
promise you
no
are.
offense, but
So yeah, that was an interesting time in my life. But yeah, I just play for fun now, and playing competitively, it was fun and all, but there's a lot of pressure. But I've got to say, like, my favorite moment has to be like I was playing against this boy from a rival school, and his mom was watching us, and my mom and dad were also there, and they were kind of chatting, and the boy's mom was like, God, I hope she beats my kid. She said, I just want to see a girl beat him. And I did. And I was like, it was so funny. So yeah, I have a lot of just funny moments with
Nice.
golf, but yeah, I
What's
love
your
it a lot.
handicap?
I stopped calculating it after a while. I think it was when I was calculating, it was like a 14 or 17.
Okay.
Yeah, I generally play 9 holes and generally shoot like 40s to low, like 45 to like 49 is my typical score on 9.
That's my sports reference for today. I've played golf
That's
once,
it for
like,
you?
and it's like, I get why people like this. I really do, and
Yeah.
this is really cool. I'm not dedicating like the next. I can't spend this much time, getting golfs. But yeah, I really enjoyed the thing of golf that made me realize this is really cool. I get this.
Yeah, it's such a cool sport because you can play it all your life. Like there's not that many sports that you can do all your life. I mean, you've got golf, you've got tennis, maybe a few others, but if you play like football in high school, you've only got so much time to do that. So that's one of the things I love about golf, and also forms some good friendships too. So speaking of sports, another one of my hobbies is that I'm a huge sports fan, which Tyler mentioned earlier. All 4 major Boston sports. I love them all. So this is a picture of me and my dad at the Celtics game, the Boston Celtics. They lost that game, but it's okay because I remember this very clearly. There's 10 seconds left in the game. They were down by 3, and they hit a buzzer beater 3 to take it into overtime. So that was like so much fun. So I've been to a Celtics game. I also have some good memories from Red Sox games as well. I believe I have a picture from the Red Sox game.
This one.
Yep.
That one.
So I've been to a few Red Sox games. I was able to catch David Ortiz in his last season, and he hit a home run in that game, which was like, oh my God, it was so cool. He's one of my favorite players. So been to a Red Sox game and then a Bruins game as well. I've been to I think 5 or 6 Bruins games. We love it there. That's me on the right, my Patrice Bergeron jersey. And we were lucky to have some really awesome seats there. And then I've never been to a Patriots game, even though that might be the one that I follow the closest, but I do have a picture here. This was when the Patriots won the 6th championship with TB12. And
so
man,
did you
that's exciting.
celebrate his 7th, or were you a little salty about him leaving New England?
I feel like every New England fan had Tampa Bay become their second team last year.
It's true. No, it's 100% true. Like, I love the guy. Like, he's a good sportsman, and he kind of a funny tidbit is like the first year Tom Brady started playing was the year I was born. So I've literally never known a team without Tom Brady. So he's my guy, right? So yeah, of course I rooted for him, and I was happy that he won. Do I wish it was with the Patriots? Yeah, I do. But it's okay. Like, we had a good run. Like, I can't complain. Boston sports. I'm so fortunate to live in an area that roots for such awesome teams that win so many championships.
Every one of your major league teams won a title within like 5 years of each other.
Yeah. Yeah,
and
so
you have Cubs,
literally, I
have
can't
Cubs
complain.
fans. Yeah, you have generations of Cubs fans who didn't see a World Series. So that's just
yeah. Oh, it's wild. So yeah, sports are a big part of my life, and I love going to games. I've got to get to a Patriots game though to round it out, all the major teams. So the last hobby here, and I'm not even really sure if this counts as a hobby, but my family and I love going to Disney World. I've been blessed to go numerous times and really have great memories from each trip. And so this is from our trip, our most recent trip in 2018. I'm on the right there with my Ahsoka Lives t-shirt. And this was cool. I don't know if they're still doing this, but there was at Hollywood Studios, there was a Star Wars fireworks show.
They are as of
They are still doing that?
pre-COVID, they were still doing it. Yes.
Man, it was the most amazing fireworks display I've ever seen in my life. Lasers, fire, projections,
Music.
fireworks, music. Oh my God, it was amazing. And so we got these passes to go to like this pre-show like party type of thing, like a dessert party. And you also got like really, really good seats to see the fireworks. And so we ran into a First Order stormtrooper, which was really cool. And I also got to meet Chewbacca at this party. Yeah, there's me with Chewie, which is like, it was so amazingly cool to be able to meet Chewie. And then, yeah, I also have a picture from 2006, which I think might be one of the earliest trips we took. But that's me on the left and my sister on the right. This was when Hollywood Studios was MGM Studios, and that's when my mom dressed my sister and I in matching clothes because we were twins. So that's what you did, right?
I was about to ask. I hear like either you have matching clothes or like you have a twin color, like you're the blue twin.
Yes. Well, and here's the twin color. So in this picture here, we have the same t-shirts, and then my sister is wearing pink pants, and I'm wearing the same pants, but they're purple. So we kind of had like our own color, but mostly wore the same clothes, I guess. It was really funny, but and we even had the same haircut too. So yeah, we have so many good memories there. And then the last picture here is from a trip in 2018. I want to give a shout out to my cousin Carter. He's a huge Star Wars fan. And we were on this a roller coaster. I think this was the Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. And yeah, we had an absolute blast. He might even be watching the show. If you are, hey Carter. He's read, I think, some of the books, and we love to chat Star Wars. So if you are watching, what's up, Carter? So yeah, that's all for my hobbies. Really quickly about me and Star Wars. My first Star Wars memory was watching the Clone Wars from our DVR in the morning, like on Saturday mornings with my dad and my sister. We would always like wake up and go downstairs and watch it and hang out together. And it was always so much fun. I remember like my sister, she's not like the biggest Star Wars fan, but she does like watch it. And I remember she like really loved Ahsoka. Like that was her character. She freaking loved her. And that was really fun. And then another memory that I have is we would watch the Star Wars movies from the Spike TV channel. I don't know if you guys like remember
that. I think so.
I definitely do. Absolutely.
And you know, some of the commercials were not super like kid appropriate, I would say. So like, you know, my parents would always be like, close your eyes or whatever. Like, it's so much fun. But that's how we watched the movies. Like we didn't have them on DVD or anything. Just whenever they were on Spike, we would watch them. So
good old Spike TV.
Good old Spike. Yeah. So those are my earliest Star Wars memories. And then talking about Star Wars collecting, this gave me a really good opportunity to update my collection counts.
I'm really so disappointed for this next number.
Hold on. As she does on a normal basis, Emma is just putting all of us to shame with these numbers.
This is true. Yeah,
I'm
rookie numbers.
Are you telling me my 6 Funko Pops is not an impressive collection?
Not in comparison to Emma's here. Oh my gosh.
Oh man. So when I was counting a couple days ago, I got really disappointed at my Funko number, not because of how high it is. Let me tell you first, and then I'll explain. I have 99 Funko Pops.
But
99. That's awesome, but at the same time, it's like we got to make the 100th something special, right?
That's the one silver lining is like you haven't broken 3 digits, but you can like get something really cool for your next one, unless you already have things in your pile of loot, which I would not put past you. Okay,
I do,
well,
but I didn't count it.
it's like whatever you bind. It's like, okay, let's find the coolest thing in my pile of loot. This is my 100th. Everything else, this was the one that counts.
Jacob, you know I have things in my pile of
Of
loot. I
course.
always have something in my pile of loot. So yeah, 99 Funkos. I have 171 books. This includes reference books. 67 Star Wars Lego sets, and 77 Black Series figures. And yes, I do have a problem.
Well, I'm glad you can admit it.
I don't think you have a problem. I think your problem is you need more. Or your problem is
Really?
or your problem is where you're gonna display all of that stuff.
Yeah.
That is the problem right now.
Yeah.
I literally no more space. I have no more space, and yeah, that is definitely the major problem. I do need more stuff, right? Like I can think of characters that I need more things of, but where to put it, I don't know. You know, we'll see.
Fennec Shan
and then
Funko Pop. That's all we're saying.
But that's all I need. Like once we get a
Republic?
Fennec Shan Funko Pop, that's it. I won't buy anything else.
I'm holding you to that. I'm gonna clip that.
Don't clip it. I can't. That would last like 2 days, I think. So last thing here, and then I'll stop gabbing. My favorite thing about the Utini community, honestly, and I know we're all probably going to say this, it's the positivity. Just being able to talk to a bunch of like-minded people and also foster a positive community. Star Wars, you know, people like on Twitter, it can be pretty negative and can really put people down for the things that they like. And that's the thing I love about Utini is that you don't have to be afraid for liking something or disliking something as long as you are respectful about it. And coming from the working for a Utini side, I just love helping people be able to discover the expanded universe and using sort of what I know to help other people find something that they love. And it's really just the best feeling to be able to produce content about things that I love to help people find things that they love. And it truly makes me very happy. And even being part of the community itself alone is also just really amazing. So I think I speak for all of us when I say like I'm just so happy that Utini exists for so many reasons, and I think the main one is certainly the positivity.
Yeah. Well said.
Totally. Yeah.
All right, Jacob.
Well, there are
Who's
two of us, so
there are two of us left.
We're going to flip
Rock,
a coin.
paper, scissors.
Tyler, would you like to call your side?
I will call heads.
All right. All right. Oh, it is you.
And
I am
it is
last.
heads. Okay, so
Oh,
it is my
show
turn.
notes. All right.
No, I've
okay.
got my own show notes here. Absolutely. So I am
this is your first one.
the oldest in the group here. I've been married for 13 years. And my wife and I have actually been together for 21. We've known each other since we were 7. Went to
Wow.
the same elementary school and everything.
Your
We
relationship
have-
is older than Emma.
Oh, that is equal parts impressive and upsetting a little bit there. That's yeah. So we have 3 amazing children and 1 dog, and they kind of keep us very busy. You know, my hobbies really lead off when it's not Star Wars based. It's really them. I mean, my oldest, he's into hockey, so naturally that there's Dasher that was just up there for a second there. But my kids, my oldest is really into hockey, so that naturally rubs off on the others. But my other 2 children are also get their own unique, have their unique skills too. In that Mason, yes, there's my wife and I are consistently like to embarrass our children when.
Oh, good.
As you do.
When yes, we do our best as parents to embarrass them whenever we can. So this
As
is
parents
of course,
should.
in the locker room in front of all of his kids. But yeah,
see.
my oldest has played hockey for 3 years now. My middle is a huge drama nerd, and he absolutely loves it. This was him. This was his first lead. He was Melvin the giraffe in Madagascar Junior. And then my youngest, who's now of the age of being able to play sports and do his own things, he's into soccer. So our Saturday morning start very early with him. and yeah, they keep us entertained, and they, you know, keep us on the go all the time. And you know, we love it. When I do get some downtime, it's video games. I'm a huge Destiny 2 player. I have a PlayStation, so you know, I've been in that since the PlayStation 4. Love that all the time. And then sports has been a huge part of my life. um I've got my lightning hat on. I've actually have the lightning game on in one of my tabs here. I've had a couple of opportunities here. This was last year's watch party at the Stanley Cup with my kids. We're actually going to Game 6, if there is one, next week,
Oh,
for this
nice.
year's watch party. So sports is a big part of my life. I thought that when I went to school, I thought I was going to go into sports journalism. I got the opportunity to interview Tony Dungy,
Dude, this
the
like
great Hall.
freaked me out when I was doing my pictures because like Tony Dungy was my coach growing up because he was at the
Yeah,
Colts too. I was like, oh yeah, he was at Tampa because like I mean Tampa when he coached at Tampa Bay, I was probably like an infant.
that was 96 through
Yeah,
like
that was
98.
okay. I was born in '96, so I don't remember
Yeah.
him not being with the Colts.
Yep. Yeah, so I got an opportunity to interview him, and sports has always been a part of my life. I played baseball for 13 years. Like I said, my kids play sports, so I've always been big around sports. But my getting back to my nerdiness here, I really enjoy going to conventions. My first convention was this Star Wars celebration. I think this was 2010, because Carter, you can't see that, but Carter is in my arms there, and he is 5 weeks old.
Oh wow.
What
And
Oh,
the?
wow.
yes, he came early, so like we had these tickets, and he wasn't supposed to be born yet, and then he was born, and I was like,
That's dedication.
because, well, no, it's not dedication, it's just stupidity of me being 20 something and being like, so we're still going, right?
Yeah, like, you know, we can
Spent all that
take our
money.
child to a convention. I'm sure he'll be great around these
So
thousands of people.
it is a very funny story. We actually met, just, you can't see it, just out of picture here. I got a picture of Anthony Daniels. I was able to meet him, and we took him through the line, and he was so gracious, but the look on his face when he saw me come through with Carter was like, that poor child. Why are you bringing him here? But
See,
the,
what you should have
the
done. He's so young at that point. You should have done a great cosplay of
Oh,
wasn't
my
I-
goodness.
I wasn't into cosplaying back then. We'll get
you
into
could have
that.
been Wilro Hood. He could have been your Camtono. Like
I wish I would have been into cosplay.
Have
But
another
funny
kid.
thing is, 10 years later in Celebration Chicago, my son got to meet him again. We got a private little episode, our engagement for his book release, IMC 3PO, where they actually announced the title. So he got to meet him, and they had a good like 3-minute conversation. Like it was just, Anthony Daniels was so awesome because he was actually talking with Carter, and Carter was telling him, I met you when I was 5 weeks old. And he's like, well, maybe 10 years from now, we'll get a chance to do this all over again. But it was such a cool opportunity
Oh,
that he like really took the time to have an actual, like, he wasn't even talking with me. Like, he was sitting there talking with Carter, and it was really, really cool. And it was a fun thing for me. My
that's so
my
cool.
other son, yeah, that's I now have an excuse to cosplay. My wife would not get into cosplay. She loves me as for all my nerdiness, but there's a certain level
That's the
that
line.
she will that
Mhm.
yeah, she will not cosplay. She gets to wear the sparkly shirts, the sequin Star Wars shirts, but she will not cosplay. But so I've been to a couple of celebrations, and then I was actually able to take my middle son, my drama kid, to New York Comic Con.
Ooh.
He's Thanos there, and I was Star-Lord.
Oh,
Um,
awesome.
and it's just it's a really fun thing to see, to walk around the floor and to see and to have people. There's a picture here, I think, coming up where there's another, yeah, this Thanos actually stopped me and said, can I take a picture with your son? And so it's really cool to experience these things as a fan, but to also experience them as a dad, and see my kids really enjoy these things. And it was great. And this was in 2018, so he was 5, so he clearly did not have the stamina to make it through the entire day. And we ended up having to leave the floor a little early. I think there's a picture that I don't know if
Nope,
it, no,
I don't
okay,
think that one's there.
it didn't come through. Yeah, he's actually on my shoulders, and his head is he's like leaning his head down on me. He's fast asleep on my head. So that was really fun. My memories with
Oh.
the Star Wars universe. I actually don't remember the first time I watched the movies, but these are my first memories of the Star Wars expanded universe. I was waiting for my brother to read Harry Potter, and while I was waiting for that, I picked up this X-wing Rogue Squadron, took it to my school. It is beat to hell, but I love it because this is when my fandom started. So the books, and have a special place in my heart. I mean, everybody loves the movies, but the books have a really special place in my heart because that's where my fandom started, my love started.
Isn't that book Rogue Squadron getting remade like soon?
It was just announced as part of the
Central Legends collection.
Central Legends. Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
But I will never replace this book because it's a great memory of where my fandom has come. My other favorite memories are movie premieres. I went to episode 3 at midnight with my brothers, and that was a lot of fun. Episode 7, I mean, I was very emotional for that movie. And even before the brass started for the opening music, I was already in tears because that was just such an awesome moment. And then Solo, my oldest son, I took him to. He was finally old enough to go with me to a movie premiere. So we went to like the 11 o'clock showing, and that was the first time that I took him to movie premieres. So that was a lot of fun. My collection, I have Funkos. I had 10 before I started this with Utini.
Oh,
I now
no.
own 24, and I think I counted 12 are on pre-order. I don't know if that includes. I finally got my Emperor Palpatine behind me.
Oh, nice.
There's a lot more.
That's fewer than I would have thought for you, honestly.
Me too. I was gonna,
It's-
that meme, like those are rookie numbers. You gotta bump those numbers up.
well, that's
Thanks,
yes.
McConaughey.
Right.
I do not have a lot, but that's because of all my novels. Like
I was about to say because you're married.
Yes, absolutely. But you can't see here, but this is all the top 1, 2, 3, 4 shelves are my old EU non-banner novels. And I have 141 of those novels. And then my last shelf here is my canon and reference and trade paperbacks. I think I'm at 35 or
Crazy.
or so of those novels, and then we're not even including the trade paperbacks. And then I also, because I go to the conventions, I also like to pick up some unique pieces of art. This was the one I picked up from Star Wars Chicago, and it is my absolute favorite.
Beautiful.
You can't see it but at the very bottom it actually says no one's ever really gone. And it was right after Carrie died, and so it was a really, really awesome piece. And it was one of those moments where I just had to get it. There were a lot cooler ones, but this one was just so emotional. And then I think I've also got behind me, you can see right. Oh yeah, this was another piece that my wife got me, another Star Wars Celebration piece that she got me for Christmas one year, a Dave Dorman piece. And then you can see right here is the last piece, but all across my shelf here. Oh yeah, man, I forgot I sent you all these pictures. These are from Octopolis, so I highly encourage if anybody is interested in that. I've got the Han Solo piece and a Lando piece on the far side there. And then I've got all 9 of the Star Wars Saga posters. As soon as you come
awesome.
up, my office is upstairs. So you come up the stairs and you're met with the poster of episode 1, and those posters go all the way across my wall. It's kind of something, as soon as we moved into this house, it was kind of something, as when I knew that I had this much wall space, it was something I wanted to do. And it turned out exactly as cool as I thought it would. I've also been able to collect a couple of autographs. I was able to meet Ray Park at a Disney event. I was able to meet Ian McDiarmid at a Star Wars Celebration, Anthony Daniels a couple times. So my collecting is a little bit bigger pieces. And I think the most important, the last thing I want to say is my favorite thing about the Utini community. For me, as a mid-30s, adult, the fact that it exists is amazing. I was 13 in 99 when The Phantom Menace came out, and it wasn't loved right away. So not only was it not cool when I was in school to be a Star Wars fan, it was uncool. Like, you did not admit to anybody that you like Star Wars. And like, after you met, you had friends or something, and they, you would, maybe the two of you would talk about it, but it was not something you talked about at school. So to have this community, to have people that are passionate about comics, about books, about the legends, novels, about the movies, and to be able to have the respect that everybody has to say, I have my opinion and it's different than yours, but yours is okay. It's a really, really special thing for those of us that are older and can remember those dark times. So it's just a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to take all of that and be able to share it with everybody and jump into all these channels and talk about a novel. Like, literally, we're talking about chapters, in The Rising Storm, or we're talking about in the chat here with Michael about going to Galaxy's Edge. It's so much fun to be able to share this with people, because it's those of us that are older realize that we didn't realize there were that many of us around, and so now that we've all found ourselves here, it's really special.
Very well put. I love that.
And like, just going back, I really love how much your kid loves the Carolina Hurricanes. I mean,
I did not send this to. Oh, and by the way, I just noticed
Is that a Patriots shirt?
He was on the Patriots for his flag football.
No. What you're saying is that he's a Patriots fan.
Is that what I'm gathering? No, actually, he is a Patriots fan because he is a Tom Brady fan. So yes, he absolutely
good man.
Was a Patriots fan prior to him coming to Tampa.
But you did send this to me. It just wasn't part of the pictures you wanted me to put
No, it was not. It was not. So
I mean, biggest Canes fan.
Yes.
Huge Caniac, as our announcer would say. But I guess there's no more number generators for me to hit.
We need to pick a number between 1 and 1.
Yeah. So I guess great show, everyone. See you guys next week. Wait, I need to reset my photos real quick. Oh God, it's okay. No, wrong way. OBS. What a software, guys. What a software. Emma knows. Emma gets it. But yeah. So my family. I am engaged, which is just weird to say if you haven't been. It's like most of your life you're not, and then suddenly you are. It's really a short period of time, honestly. So kind of weird.
It's like, why even bother?
Yeah, it's just like, well, less or shorter time for me because I'm gonna be poor in like 2 months, quite literally. But yeah, so this is my fiance Emily. We've been together for I think 6 years now, so not quite as long as Tyler, or I don't know for sure, but I'm assuming not as long as Caleb's been with his.
Actually, no, we met online. Like I saw something I was saying because it'll piss her off. We've almost been married for years. Our 2-year anniversary is in August.
All right.
And then we met like a year and a half before that.
Okay,
so
well, all right,
only been married for years. Barely.
So yeah, then beyond that, my family includes a really cute dog, of which Emma is the biggest fan.
Ruby, I love
Ruby. So this is Ruby.
She
She's asleep next to me. I would get her up and put her in my lap, but she's sleeping, so I'm not gonna mess with that. And she's the cutest. She's an Australian Shepherd who here's her with the Stormtrooper little toy.
Aww.
Oh my God,
we had to take that away because she eats like anything soft, she'll destroy immediately.
Yep.
She's the cutest dog. And I mean, just look at it. So I have a handful of visual aids next to me, and I love my dog, and I think she's cute. And I want to exploit her for views. So I was like, you know what? I'll make her a Cosmic Force bandana, because we like putting bandanas on our dog. I think actually, yeah, this one has a bandana on her. So I got this, and I didn't look at the dimensions. So red flag, big red flag. It's huge.
Whoa!
It is enormous. Wow. This is bigger than my dog. So I was like, okay, well that sucks. I should have looked closer. I look closer. I order another one. I'm like, all right, this one would be great. This one will fit her. This one is tiny. So it does not. It's not long. It's it's a good size that but it's not long enough to tie around her. So we're gonna have to. They make bandanas that basically like loop a collar through. And we're thinking about sewing a piece of fabric on it so it can just become a collar bandana rather than a tie bandana. So
you went from way too big to way too small.
Yeah, I was like, I can't screw this up. I got it. I measured and I got it in the mail. I'm like, son, Can't believe I did this again.
Well, hopefully
yeah.
third time's a charm, right?
Well, we'll see. So yeah, we got a cute dog, and then like personal life, I'm going to law school in 2 months now. It's less than 2 months. Holy cow, month and a half. It's terrifying. But I also get to go to a pretty campus just with a lot less ocean than Emma. So
A lot more planes.
yeah. Well, it's southern Indiana, so there are hills, just not big ones. No mountains, small hills. But yeah, I mean, beyond that, I need to switch my pictures for this one. I let's see. Hobbies. I went to Purdue for undergrad, and if any of my like Midwest folks from in the chat, Mike I know is one. So that's IU. And that's Purdue. If you know anything about Midwest schools or the Big Ten, you know that's a big no-no for me going to both of those schools. We hate each other a lot. But yeah, I played in the band at Purdue, which means I got to enjoy Purdue sports a lot much more up close and for free. So this was me at the Madison Square Garden for the Big Ten tournament in 2018. Was my senior year of college.
That is awesome.
I got flown out for free to play courtside in Madison Square Garden and see us go to the finals, which was sweet. I see Mike saying go green. My grandpa was a Spartan, so I got a little soft spot for Michigan State there. I mean, they're one of the teams in the Big Ten that's not hateable, so I'll give them that. But yeah,
as long as it's not Ohio State.
Yeah. Well, hey, we are Ohio State kryptonite for football, which is a great feeling. Yeah, we beat Ohio State more than basically any other team in the century, despite being a very mediocre to bad football team. So it's great. So yeah, I played in the band, including the marching band. My senior year, we actually got to go to Ireland. This is me and my now fiance Emily. So we got to play in the Dublin St. Patrick's Day parade. Ooh. So up in
wow.
Frank's. Well, is Frank in Ireland or Northern Ireland? I'm not sure. I think he's.
Oh, I'm not sure either.
I'm not sure.
I think he's Irish.
I think Cad Ben also an Irish fan here. So yeah, it was great time there. Beyond that, like play video games. I built my computer, which is over here running the stream for us right now.
Heating your house.
Heating my office is so hot it's not even funny. I wasn't actually into this growing up, but I played a lot of Magic the Gathering over quarantine because yeah, I know. It's just like I need an excuse to talk with real life friends, and that's been it. So I've been playing a lot of Commander over webcam. And it's fun because like it allows me to like planning decks is a very cerebral activity. So I have a lot of visual aids. This is a card which is old, and because it is old, the mechanics are broken, which makes it not fun to play against, but a lot of fun to play with. Basically, it's like, hey, you can only block this if you have things also printed in this set from like 20 years ago.
Oh, so it's
no one has those
blue
cards.
screweries.
It's a lot of fun.
I don't play Magic the Gathering the same way I don't play. It's to me the same thing as golf. It's just something like such a huge hobby that seems like impossible.
Golf, yeah, no, it's hard.
They're the same thing.
I also like trains a lot, which is really cool because my college mascot is a train. That is my actual school mascot. It is a 6-ton highway legal train, which I got to drive.
Oh, that's cool.
That's a very
Boilermakers,
unique
right?
It is the Boilermakers. Although, yeah, we have like a dude called Purdue Pete. He has a hammer and a hard hat. A lot of people think that's our mascot, but this is our actual official university mascot. It's a big train, and I like trains.
Huh.
That's actually
did not know that.
Yeah.
How many train trips have you taken?
Like actual trains or this train?
Why not both?
This train like only a couple. Actual trains like. Well, if you count the CTA in Chicago, many. Both that. And then another thing I also like is beer. So if you've ever done a boot, it's a really fun time. It's a 2-liter boot that a bunch of my friends did at a German beer house in Madison, Wisconsin. And I got a nice beer. I'm finishing off tonight. It's fun. You know, a responsibly drinking craft beer is a good time. I'll say that. I'm too old to do anything. Like at 25, I'm already aged out of doing anything hardcore at this point.
You stopped that like 7 years ago.
Sure. Yeah. So
No
my
comment.
My first Star Wars memory, one of my youngest one that I can remember is me at Star Tours, like as a 4-year-old.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I have this picture of me with the sickest bowl cut the 90s could offer up front. That's my older cousin in the back. And I think I showed this off in a show a couple weeks ago. My Star Tours badge.
I was gonna say, I feel like I've seen this photo before, and I have not been to your house. So
yeah, no, that was a Slack photo. Yeah, my mom's been like scanning old family photos, and I found it on like our shared Google Photos thing. I'm like, okay, that's a keeper. There's like another one with me, like me probably like 3 years old with a Darth Vader piggy bank that I remember from growing up. But yeah, so love Star Wars from as long as I can remember. I played with a lot of my uncles were around the age where the original movies came out, so like they had current action figures that got like given to my grandparents. So like when we went and visit my grandparents, we'd go in the basement and play with the Kinder toys and like watch the old VHSs and stuff like that. So that's how I got into Star Wars growing up, and that's blossomed into the terrible place I've ended up now, where I spend all my money on Star Wars nonsense like my collection. So I've been trying to do all the canon hardcovers, and I've been adding like many hard to get ones. So like I got this amazing literary masterpiece this week, Heir to the Jedi.
And you said it came packaged with ramen noodles, right?
Yes, yeah, I did have some like Thai style ramen for lunch when I got this, just to celebrate the occasion. And of course, this is a comic book show, so I got to show off some variants. This is one I think I haven't shown on the show yet. It's my John Cassaday, the beginning of my connecting covers for War of the Bounty Hunters. It's gonna be all the bounty hunters from Empire Strikes Back. I think the next one might be Dengar. Yeah,
I think it's Dengar.
Yeah.
Dengar.
So I mentioned the not the retro collection, the Kenner toys. So Hasbro has this retro collection. My uncles had this old school action figure stand that they made as like a promotional thing. You could like send in 2 proofs of purchase and like a couple bucks, and they'd send you this to you, like, without the action figures. And I looked it up, and they're like $300 now. They're sitting in the basement.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So Hasbro does the retro collection now, which they're on the 3rd wave of them, and I've started to collect them because it's like something like secondhand nostalgic for me, because I got to play with them as a kid.
Well, so, you know why they had this display board back in the day, right?
I just remember you like rock them back and forth. I mean, to get the kids to buy them all, right? I mean, that's
to fill it out.
They didn't have the toys ready.
Oh, I remember. Yeah.
It took them completely by surprise how popular the Star Wars franchise was and the toys were, that they did not have the toys ready for launch. So what they did is they had this little cardboard cutout with all the names,
so
on them,
to fill in,
and said, pre-order this and we'll get you your toys whenever it's ready. And it was genius. Like, yeah. But yeah, they did not have the action figures ready for launch when Star Wars came out,
especially for Christmas.
But yeah, so like Hasbro's been doing the retro collection, which they're basically like remolding all the old the figures. So like there's a wave they did a couple of years ago they did 8 figures from A New Hope, 8 figures from Empire Strikes Back, and then this past year they did 8 figures from The Mandalorian in like a retro styling. So I've been picking up a few of them. This is the Bespin Luke, which had the classic Luke yellow lightsaber.
Oh, the yellow one, yeah.
I have a few more behind me, but what I'm trying to do is I am trying to do I went to school for engineering, so I'm trying to do a CAD model of this stand, because I'm not gonna spend $300 on it. I want to build, like, 3D print my own like 8 figure ones for every wave of this thing. So like I'm buying pieces to measure out and model this. So maybe in like 6 months I'll have a really cool stand for the Mandalorian figures I pre-ordered. So
keep us updated.
That's been fun. Yeah. Let's see, what else do I got? Oh, I think I'm on the Utini community now. Wow, almost done. Wow. Yeah. So, just like Utini and Star Wars in general, it's been I grew up as a fan, and then I think like a lot of people like stopped being a fan like for a little bit in like middle school or high school. Like Tyler said, it was definitely not cool to be a Star Wars fan for a while. And even though I'm a little younger, I mean, it still is the case growing up. But I really came back into it after I graduated college. And that was like a bit of like I'm only 3 years out of undergrad now, but it was a little bit of a rough time where all of the it's hard if you haven't graduated college yet. It's very weird when you move to a place where you don't know anyone and you have no structure anymore to make friends. Um,
Yeah.
and that was a little rough time. So I kind of got back into Star Wars, started to read some books, and it took me a little bit to find UTV. I'm very glad that I did because I was enjoying like all the books and the comics I was reading, but like thinking back on it and like how Emma put it, like with how negative parts of the fandom can be, I would like in retrospect it could have been very easy for me to fall into some of the more negative sides of things if that's just like how I stumbled into it. Like I'm not gonna be like the the racist sexist part of the negative fan community. Like obviously I'm not a terrible person, I hope. But like it's very easy to dogpile, I'll say that. And I'm glad that I found a bunch of people that rather than negatively dogpiling, we could positively dogpile about how freaking cool like the Rising Storm is and how cool the Star Wars High Republic comic book series is. So I'm very happy to have found this group of people, and like being like I'm happy to chill home with my co-hosts every week. I'm happy to talk about stupid Star Wars stuff every week, and it just makes it especially like between like my period right after graduating college and this past year of being stuck in my house all the time. It's definitely make things a little happier for me. So I'm very very grateful for that.
And now, like the rest of us, you can have your tweets liked by Kevin Scott because
that's
you
true.
know, as a positive fan, that's what we all do. So, all right, well, I think that's going to do it tonight. Thank you, everybody, for sharing. That was a lot of fun. I hope you guys had as much fun as I did. Here and getting to know you guys a little bit better.
Absolutely. Yeah, that was good. And we've had like discussions like this like here and there, but it's nice to have like that whole greeting sort of things, make sure everyone's on the same page. So this was a lot of fun. We should do this more often.
Well, not
Yeah.
this exact thing.
Yeah, for sure.
Not this exact thing. Like we should do character introductions every like 2 months.
So let me
Yeah,
tell you
no,
about
it
this
was-
game of golf I played.
I know I can give you like whole to whole recaps of my rounds if you want.
Here's my scorecard from this past week.
Rate my performance. No, just kidding. But yeah, no, it's great to learn more about you guys. And we talk so much, but it's mostly about Star Wars stuff. And so it was cool to learn some new things about you guys. And I hope everybody listening got to know a little bit more about us too, because honestly, there's Ruby. Oh my gosh.
Oh.
But yeah, I think it helps like when you're listening to a podcast or watching a podcast. I think it's good to know about the host personally too. I think it makes it more enjoyable. So I hope you guys enjoyed.
Yeah, we really appreciate everybody who's in the chat and who's been with us the whole night, everybody who will be listening to this whenever. We appreciate all the support that you guys show us, and we hope that episodes like tonight kind of give you a chance to get to know us and a little bit more than just the hosts of your favorite comics podcast show. So we have two special announcements before we go. Next week we will not have a live show. That is not to say we won't have something coming out next week, but we will not be going live. For more information, we do have something special planned. Tune into the Living Force next Monday for more details. That's all we're going to say about that right now, but I highly encourage you to check out the Living Force Monday night at 8. Did they go live at 8 as well?
8 p.m.
Yes.
Eastern.
8 p.m. as well. So I highly encourage you guys to check it out. It's going to be a lot of fun. So no live show. And then our next roundtable, as a reminder, is going to be the Lando miniseries. I believe, Jacob, that is when we come back, right? So
That'll
we're
be
off
the
next
14th.
week. Yep. Yes. Okay. So we're off next week, and then the dates are running in. That's 2 weeks or so from now. So
yep.
All right. So with that is going to do it for this week's episode of The Cosmic Force. Don't forget to subscribe to the show wherever you get your podcasts or right here on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe and turn on those notifications so you can be notified every time we go live every Wednesday here at 8 p.m. If you like what you hear, please leave us a review on iTunes or your other podcast networks. It helps new listeners find the show, and we very much appreciate it. Be sure to also visit utini.com for reviews, articles, and news for the entire expanded universe, especially the High Republic. There's lots and lots of stuff coming down the pipe soon, so make sure you are heading over to utini.com for all of your news. We also encourage you to join our Utini Discord community by going to utini.com/discord. And if you'd like to help support the show, you can find us on patreon.com/utini and start receiving exclusive perks starting at just $5 a month. Special thank you to Cheryl Bell, Patrick Ortiz, and Carl Sanders on our Jedi High Council, and Kyle Hickman, Elizabeth Cloutier, Jason Mitchell, Freddie C., and Sally and Chris Eilerson on our Alliance High Command for their amazing support. You can tweet the show at Cosmic Force Show or each of us individually. I'm at Ty Rags, Emma is at Irma Jedi 26, Caleb is at Caleb Lamanik, and Jacob is at Jacob Bosch. Thanks again for all of my co-hosts for co-hosting with me tonight. Thank you for you guys in the chat for being with us tonight. And thank you to you, our listeners, wherever and whenever you are. And until the next time we see you, may the Force be with you.